Hurry up. All right, all right. Welcome back to Ovaya Inspiración. It is beautiful out here in South Florida. We're getting some nice weather. It's a beautiful Saturday night. But today we have a special guest, and he's no stranger to me. Been knowing my best friend Brian for many years, and I was actually thinking about that today, what year it was. But we'll talk about it to see if we remember what year it was. But I'm gonna bring him on, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit of his story and how we met, and then we'll get into the topic of fatherhood and the chaotic world that we live in, and as a believer. So we got Brian Duran. What's good, my brother?
What's up, man? Mama, I made it. Yeah, I hope my mom is watching, right?
I hope she is too. She can always comment if you're there. But yes,
Absolutely.
you made it. You made it finally.
Yeah, man. It took what a few years, and I'm here now, right?
No, right? Yeah, because I started doing it during COVID, and
During COVID,
after
yeah.
like 60 something interviews, I bring you on.
I know. That's cool, man. That's cool. I'm glad to be here, though, bro.
Yeah, what's up with you, man? Everything good?
Everything is good. Today I had an eventful day. It wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to be more restful, but I went out, helped a brother. He works for this program called Upper 90, and
Mm-hmm.
what he does is kind of like it's like a soccer program.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're here.
Okay, okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. But so we're gonna get into a little bit of who you are, your story, how you came to Christ and whatnot. But just to start off with the basics, just tell us who you are. A little bit of your childhood, how many brothers, sisters you got, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, okay. How many surgeries and all that good stuff? But no, no.
Yeah,
No, so my name is Brian. I am originally from New York. That's where I was brought up. Half. It's funny because one of the things I tell people is I lived in New York from the age I was born till 15, and then I lived in Jersey from 15 to 30, and
yeah.
now I live in Georgia. So probably when I'm 45, I'm probably gonna get out of here and kind of keep the 15 years. No, but I'm a husband of one wife. I have three wonderful kids. My oldest is Seth. My middle one is Camila, is a girl, and my youngest is Titus, is a boy. They are 7, 4, and 2. Um, I now live in Georgia, like I said. I work for a mechanical sealing company, but I aspire to be in pastoral ministry, and I'm in seminary now doing that. And so, yeah, it's a little bit about me.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yep.
Yeah, I should play that little clip from back in the day. No, I'm just kidding.
Please don't, please don't.
Lucky I didn't have it saved here. Seminary. That's
Our chat be
awesome.
popping, yo. Our chat be popping.
Right, right. That's awesome. So Dominican, straight from New York, born and raised right in
Absolutely.
New York City, and
Yeah.
then came to Jersey. So we've been friends since, I'm gonna say the date. Maybe you have a different date. I don't know. I'm gonna say 2007.
I'm gonna say 2007 as well. I'm gonna say 2007. Man, we've known each other since 2007.
Hmm.
I would say the closeness of our relationship, I think, came a few years after that.
Yeah,
But I think, yeah, 2007 was when you were leading that the group, and I had to attend. My mom kind of told me how to go and stuff like that. So
yeah, yeah.
I
So I'm
remember
gonna,
that.
yeah. So I'm gonna share how it all happened and how we met.
Yeah.
Your mom. Oh, look at Kiana right here. Kiana saying hi right there.
Hey, Kiana. beat me up because I didn't help my wife fix the printer.
So back then in 2007, I believe, yeah, right. I was working
Mhm.
in Quick Check, on 90th Street on Burger Line, and I was on the cashier, and I was there for 2 years. And I even remember multiple times your mom would come into the store, not knowing who she was, and she would come early in the morning. I guess she was going to work early in the morning, and she was, I think, still new around the area because yeah, I came from New York, and she would be on the phone loud as heck, Dominican, of course.
Of course, of course.
Loud as heck, she'd be on the phone, and she's just talking to I don't know who, and I'm listening. I mean, I have no choice. Like it's right there. I'm listening, and she keeps saying, like she would say "el señor," like the guy. I guess if you want to translate it that way, the guy or the older gentleman. But in my mind, I'm like, is she talking about a guy or is she talking about el señor, like the Lord, God? And what made it connect more, the fact is that she was wearing some long jean skirts. I'm like, she might be
Okay, you already know.
I'm like, she might be Pentecostal. She's probably talking about the Lord. And whatever. I just left it like that. And then it wasn't until like the second or third time again she came in the morning to buy her stuff, and she's on the phone again. Whoever she's talking about again, El Señor. Then I don't know. I think I'm the one who had asked her. I don't know the question I asked, but it turns out that she was talking about God and she was looking for a church because she just had moved from New York City and y'all were, I think, in Richfield, right? Richfield,
No, no, we were in Cliffside Park.
Cliffside
Yeah,
Park.
yeah, yeah.
And I told her about the church that we were at. And then from there, she came and then you came a little bit after that. And then she just became my mother, pretty much.
I know, I know she
She
did.
became my other
She
mother,
did.
and we became good friends. Me and you led Bible study together for a
Hmm.
while with the middle school and high schoolers in different places. I think it was mostly at one point at Evelyn's at your mom's house at one point.
Hmm.
And
I
then
remember one time it was in Edward's house, I think.
yes, that's what I was
You
saying. I
remember
think that
that?
was
I remember that.
yeah, I remember that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was in there. And the relationship we built off that relationship, right? We were doing ministry together, we were preaching,
Mhm.
just riding bikes together with the youth to New York City. I remember that. That was fun.
I know.
Um,
That was fun. I
yeah,
tell you, sometimes I forget about these nice memories that we kind of were able to
yeah,
experience.
right. And then what made it even better is that y'all was so family to me that I can just literally go to how people like, oh, they call you and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come over or can I come over? No, that wasn't even like that for me. I just simply ride my bike or go on the bus and go up to your house and ring the doorbell with the hope that you guys are
Absolutely.
there. And your
Absolutely.
mom is cooking and she's like, oh Manny, go plato, go get a plate for you. Da, da, da.
Yeah,
So
yep,
I
I
just
remember
get
that.
my food, I open the fridge like it's mine, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the other part too that I enjoyed was that when I stay over, I'm watching. We're both watching movies, but of course you can't hang, so you end up
I
falling
cannot.
asleep.
I
You ain't
cannot.
sleeping,
My
nothing.
wife was like, "You're gonna have an interview at 8." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my gosh."
So you go to sleep early, and literally,
Absolutely.
no lie, it's like midnight, and I'm still
Hmm.
in your house watching the movie, and your mom comes out of the room, and all she says, "Oh, Manny, when you leave, just lock the door."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right? Just like I've
Absolutely.
always.
So there's friends that people, you have friends,
Hmm.
but then there's friends that you're like, oh, they just walk into my fridge. Like there's friends that come over that I don't have to be with the pleasantries of like, hey, do you want something to drink? What would you like? There's just friends that, bro, the fridge is right there, go get it. And that's
Yeah.
what you've been. You've been a person that just comes over. My aunts, Tamari, all these, they
Mhm.
love you.
Yeah.
So that's the type of things that there's like friends that are closer than brothers, as the Bible says. That's
Yes.
what you are,
Yeah.
brother, for sure.
That's right. That's right. So your family was great. Tiffany, always have love for
Hmm.
Tiffany, and then Maya, obviously, I know her since she was like, what, 7 years old? And now she's what,
Yeah.
20, 21? I'm like, what the
20, I
heck?
think she's 22, yeah.
Me
She's gonna
too.
be
I'm like,
22 now.
bro, like, that's wild. Like, I've known you since 2007, 23-ish years later. Like, whoa, I'm getting old. I mean, like, you can't even barely see black on my beard anymore.
No,
You
you are
like,
getting old, Maddie.
yo, for real. I've always been in your family parties, gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
Can never say no to Damaris, to your aunt, because she always
I
came over.
know. I
Cook that
know.
asopao de camarones. Diana, you good too, so don't feel bad. Um, that was good. I think my
Yeah.
favorite, my fun moments with you was when we used to go at it playing MLB, the
Oh
show.
yes, 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 yes. Which I did most of the winning most of the time, but yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, sure. We would go back and forth. Tiana, all right, don't worry. You're next door. I'll catch you later. Anyway, yeah, we
She
were
said a
playing
senior
home run
citizen.
derby. We were like always back and forth, Yankees, Boston, home runs, and this and that. It's like I just had so
Yeah,
much fun. And I want to share one last memory before we actually get into more of your story.
please, for sure, for sure.
And you know this. I remember at La Senda,
I can already think about what you're gonna talk about.
I think Aura, or I don't know who was getting married, and it was
It
me,
was
you, and
Ada.
Ruben in the back on the sound system.
Mhm, mhm,
Like it's
mhm,
nothing. And it turns out that we were in control of putting the songs, the wedding song, blah blah blah, in the intro.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
everything was fine. We put the song, everything went well. But the problem was because the thing was connected to the computer and then the sound system, the volume and all that,
Yeah.
the issue was that when we were gonna stop the music or lower down the music, whatever, we kind of did. But the problem is that when we disconnected the thing, the music kept.
I know. And it wasn't low enough. It was loud, man. It wasn't like it
Yes,
was.
it was
It was
loud.
loud.
Yo, I did not know what to do. And out of panicking, all I had to do was put mute, like press mute, and that's it. All I did was that I took the computer and I closed it and I
No, we all ducked. We were like, "Oh no, we ain't trying to get caught."
yo, I would never forget that day, bro. It was like me, you, and Melvin were on the floor just
I
howling
know.
laughing.
I know. It wasn't too funny at the moment. We were scared. We were like, "Oh
Like,
man."
like
Oh
those were
man.
fun moments.
It was. It
But
was at
yeah,
the
so
moment.
tell us a little bit about your story, how you came to Christ, and all of that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I grew up in New York, Washington Heights, New York. So when you say New York, people think it's a city. No, no, no. Washington Heights, uptown.
The
I
second
grew
capital
up
of the Republic.
pretty much, yeah, pretty much, pretty much. If you've seen the Washington Heights movie, you would see that. But so yeah, I grew up in Washington Heights. I grew up between 175th and Audubon and San Nicolas. Um, I start there because that's where I really remember a lot of my memories, good and bad.
Hmm.
I grew up with a single mother. My father left when I was extremely young, and yeah. So my mom had a living and not having the best job or not having the best income. She was on Section A, and with Section A, you're not given the best apartments, and so we had a nice little apartment in 175th Street. Like I said, at that time it was me, my mom, and my older sister Tiffany. Um, and so yeah, we grew up. As I was growing up, one of the important things that I tend to forget in my testimony, which I
Hmm.
find to be very impactful, is at a young age there was this on 168th Street. I can still remember it to this day. There was a small Pentecostal church,
Hmm.
and my mom every Sunday used to take us to that church. She wasn't like the best, Bible believing Christian or behaved that like it, but she would always take us to church. And I just remember learning the Bible there. I remember I knew the Bible, the books of the Bible by memory. Um, I was the kids president at that time. Like it was just such an
Oh,
amazing
wow.
time. I enjoyed
It's
it.
president.
Yeah, it was super. And it's funny because just recently, like a few months back, the kids, I guess director, or I don't know, the pastor of the kids or whatever, the one that led us, she
Hmm.
hit me up and said, "Hey, I moved to Georgia, this place," and I hadn't talked to her in years, and I just had to tell her like, "Hey, just want to let you know, like the instillment and the guiding and the instruction that you gave me as a young that came a long way.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, there was a sense I did what I did, and I'm going to talk about it. But there was a sense of where I feared the Lord because of that, and I thank her for that. And I thought that was nice. All right,
Nice.
so I grew up. I don't have a father. I'm growing up in a tough neighborhood. There's drugs going on. There's gangs going on. There's fights going on. Like it's just not the best, you know. But one thing that I tell people, your hood is different from other hoods, right? If I go to a
Mhm.
dangerous neighborhood, I might be a little fearful. If I go to my dangerous neighborhood, it's my dangerous neighborhood. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid. You may be afraid, but I'm not. And so, yeah, man, we used to play baseball in the streets, um, open the fire hydrants, and I just had all these memories coming up. And then my mom found a boyfriend. His name was Raymond, and man, you gotta understand. I've never had a father figure in my life, so this is the first guy in my life that's a father figure to me. And like I don't know what a father's supposed to be, what it's supposed to do. I don't know none of that stuff. I just know that this guy's present. He's buying me fire. I remember this vivid memory. He came out of nowhere. He had been living in our house at that time, and he brought me a bag of fireworks.
Hmm.
And I was the coolest kid on the block because everybody knew I had those fireworks, and I kept giving them out. Like, yeah, you want? Wait, you gotta ask me. Okay, we cool. And it was just this, like, wow, like this is what a father's supposed to be. Behind closed doors, he was a drunk, and he abused my mother.
Hmm.
But you know that was hidden most of the time because as a kid, you're outside, you're doing these
Yeah.
type of things, you're in the room, and like I said, he would buy us things, he would pay bills, he had a good job, he would cook.
Mm-hmm.
So it was he would wash his clothes, wash our clothes. Like it was something like, wow, this is a good guy. Um, and throughout the years, there was a sense of fear for me from him because he was very strict, very. Um, he became very harsh, and so now I'm like, okay, wait. I remember one time I lost my phone, and I was super fearful
Oh
to come back
wow.
home because it was a Nokia
Mm.
phone, those long ones that you can't
Yeah.
even text your sister numbers. But I was fearful. I'm like, this guy's gonna beat me up. Think I somebody he called it, somebody found it and brought it to us. Um, but then so that's going on. I'm young, so we're talking about let's talk about from 11 to 15 here, right? From
Mhm.
11 to 15, I'm experiencing, right? I'm getting girlfriends, I'm experiencing what kissing is like and all this other stuff. Um, and then everything starts to kind of move a little quickly. So at 11, I'm starting to learn about um, watching things I'm not supposed to. I don't know who's watching this video, so let me just say it that way. But watching things I'm not supposed to, doing things I'm not supposed to in the library. Like I'm talking about, I was just addicted to that one thing, to pornography. I was addicted to it. And then at the age of 13, I found myself, or 14, one of the two, I found myself starting to engage in sexual
Mhm.
activities with women and things like that at a very young age. And then it wasn't until 15 where the abuse of my mother became so escalated that we saw it. There was one time
Mhm.
we hear it. My younger sister's born, so she's a little young. She's like I want to say a few months old, and he's beating my mother while my mom's back is on the baby, suffocating her. Maya, as you know.
Yeah.
And so we run in the room. Tiffany says, "Hey, Raymond, wait, stop!" Like, and my mom's a fighter, so she's gonna fight
Mhm.
back. She's not gonna just get hit.
Right.
So we had
Oh,
to
I
run in
know.
the room. I know, yeah, you know. So I had to run in the room, take Maya out. Well, Tiffany took Maya out. We went to her room, and the reason this moment is very vivid to me is because we were in the room. I remember my mom comes. She has black and blue. She's on. We have in Tiffany's room. There's a rocking chair,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes into the room and he looks at me straight in the face and says, "What are you gonna do about it, punk?"
Wow.
We're talking about a 14, 15-year-old kid.
Hmm.
I'm skinny like I am now. I ain't never gained weight. I've been 4 or 5 probably my whole life. Like, and that was the moment where I cannot protect my mother.
Wow.
And so I was broken, I was shattered. And I said, if God didn't give me the ability to protect my mother,
Hmm.
then I don't know he's as powerful as I think he is. And so that really shook my faith as far as what I believed. And then a lot of things happened. There was some threats going on, and I think my mom also wanted to kind of get out of New York. And so she goes ahead and moves us to New Jersey.
Mm.
Um, in New Jersey, we get there. I'm still traveling back to New York because that's where my people are. I'm still doing the thing of drinking. I'm not smoking too much or doing any drugs, but drinking a lot, being with multiple girls, like just continuously in this trend. And my mom sees that this is not a good thing for me. But she can't do nothing. Now I'm 16, what, 16, 17, maybe. Like I'm older now. Like you can't really tell me. Counselors are calling her from my school saying he's not doing good enough. And then she finds the church. I guess she communicates with you. You figure something out, and then she goes to the church. She's going to this church. She asked me to visit her. I would visit with her here and there. But I remember, um, so as time progresses, I want to be clear by saying something here. I had a very loose relationship with my father. So I knew who my father was. We didn't have the best relationship. And so just having that father figure and then having the guy that was with my mom, Raymond, it just distorted what manhood, what it was like, what it's supposed to be like. I didn't know nothing. So I'm supposed to be with multiple women because that's who my father was. One of the things that I took out of him beating my mother was like, I would never put my hands on a woman ever, because I would never want a woman to feel the way my mom feels. And that was something that was like personal to me. But cheating on women, like I was like doing all over the place. And so she goes to this church, and stop me if you have any questions or whatever, but she goes to this church and La Senda, and I want to go to this Halloween party at my school, yo. I'm trying to go to the Halloween party. And it's a party with music. The school did it. And so she's like, I'll let you go to the Halloween party, but you got to go to this retreat at the church. And I'm like, oh, man. At this point, my party is first. So I'm like, all right, okay, if I go to my party, I can convince her not to go to the retreat. And then it all plays off nicely. What I didn't know is that she had to pay for that retreat. So I go to the party, I have fun, whatever. He says, hey, a few weeks, I think it was like a few months later, hey, you're going to have to, I think a month later. Hey, you're going to have to go to the retreat. And I'm like, nah, mom, you know what it is? It's just that I have a lot of school thing. I'm trying to catch up because I'm not doing too good. No, I paid for it. You're going to go to the retreat. And I was like, nah, I packed some clothes for you. You're going to go to the retreat. And I said, oh, man, you know what? Let me just please this woman. Let me go. And let me just do my thing. And so I go to the retreat. And I mean, all the stuff, right? All the falling, all the stuff. And there's one particular moment that I remember where they say, write a letter to your fathers.
I remember that one.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I write my letter. And then it tells me, now you got to find somebody in the room that looks like your father. And forgive them and tell them that you love them.
That.
I grabbed the lions. I don't know why. I don't think he looked like my father, but that's the one guy that I'm like, all right, bro. I'm going to go ahead and hug you. So I go and hug him. I'm bawling. And that was one of the first nights. And then I'm like, oh, this is good. This is helping me like heal from my father stuff. That's awesome. This is probably good for me. Next day, we're having fun. We're playing. We're doing stuff. Like, we're having fun. And then that last day, or the day before that last, I'm in the room. I remember a few people are there, and I tell them, I'm gonna need God to talk to me today, because if He doesn't talk to me, like, that's it. I'm done with Him. Like, that's it. And man, in a supernatural Pentecostal way, He did speak to me, man. He ministered to me. It was genuine. It was the moment where I felt like I was illuminated and enlightened by the Lord. I think that's the moment He brought me from death to life, although I didn't display that in my life at that particular moment. But I find that to be the moment where I was like, you're real, and I just need to follow you, and it's going to be very difficult for me to do that. And so I came to the Lord, man. I've failed so much since being in the Lord, and then, so I came to the Lord. I was trying to walk in a manner that's worthy of the gospel and trying to live this life out, and I kept failing. One of my biggest things was sexual sin. I just kept falling into the same pattern, crying to the Lord, but still falling in that. I was addicted to pornography for a while, even after I came to the Lord, trying to wrestle with that and battle with that. I didn't talk to much people about that because of the fact that we were in an environment where, it's hard kind of to let that out. And then in 2000, it's probably speeding up, but, I was in the gospel. And then in 2013, 2012, I remember a woman by the name of Belkis Sedano. Now, Manny was not a part of this church anymore. So guess who was the sound
Actually,
system
no,
guy?
I was.
This guy right
I
here.
left.
You
I
were.
left. I left in 2013.
Okay, but you weren't doing the sound system anymore.
Yeah,
I don't remember because I was there, and Betty's come up to me. And she says, "Hey, I have a question. You put some great songs. I was putting Jesus culture and all that stuff for my preaching. She's like, can you make a CD for my daughter? I believe that the CD that you make her will make her come to the Lord." She never heard the CD, by the way. I still made it. I burned the CD for her, man. And then a year or two later, her daughter she has her own testimony. Would love for you to have her here so she can share it because her testimony is pretty intense. But she comes to the Lord, and I just got out of a bad relationship, long distance relationship. I don't know if you remember that one. In Canada. And so somebody told me, "Hey, what do you think about Diana?" And I'm like, "Nah, man. I'm just what Diana will say that I said was, nah, she's just not my type. I like this type of girl." The thing was for me, let me explain, Manny, because I'm gonna plead my case here, was that I was just not in the right headspace. I had just gotten out of a relationship, so I was like, no, I don't care about these other girls. Like, no one was pretty, but the girl that I had just left me, like, And so I remember asking her, "Hey, you want to pray for this event that we're having?" And she prayed. Then, I don't know. I got her number because we were, in the prayer thing. Then I started texting back and forth, and then from then on, she couldn't get rid of the chocolate thunder right here, and she was like, "I gotta marry this guy." And so in 2015, she decided to marry me. So we got married in 2015. 2015.
Anna was making moves. I'm proud of you, sis.
I know. She was like, "This guy, this chocolate brother looking good." And I was like, "Yeah, you already know." Nah. But yeah, so then we got married in 2015. Actually, I had curly hair, bro. What you mean, Calvito? Bro, what's up with you, man? I had curly hair, bro. Don't disrespect me like that,
God, I forgot.
Yeah, so we got married in 2015, and then we had our son in 2017. And then 2019 was the pandemic. 2020 was the pandemic. 2020 was the pandemic, and that's when we were deciding we were gonna move to Georgia, and we ended up moving. And the reason I keep going, right? Because I could just stop right there. Hey, I just came to know the Lord, and that's it. No, I think it's more than that, because La Senda had instilled in me one of the things that you'll see in two different circles. In the Pentecostal circle or the charismatic circle, you're going to see a call to ministry is a call to preach. Start preaching. Get up there. Figure it out. In the Reform circle, you're going to see a call to ministry is a call to study. Go study seminary if you want to preach, if you want to be in ministry. And so when I moved to Georgia, I didn't really know why I didn't have a job, but we were part of this church called Kainos Church, and it was a new church plant. And the pastor there, John Thompson, was really helpful in helping me navigate my ministry call, like what I was feeling, why I was feeling it, trying to decipher what type of gifts I have, what type of talents I have, and things like that. And so from then on, he's like, "Hey, there's this seminary. Our church is willing to pay for it if you want to." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll go." So I've been there since. I finished May 2025. This is a different type of seminary, which offers a bachelor's degree. And so I'm getting my bachelor's degree in May 2025. And so that's been my journey ever since. And it has been a journey indeed.
Nice. So
did I talk too much? My bad.
Definitely a long journey, right? Definitely a long journey. You married Diana, great move, 3 kids. And now, you're just doing your thing. And I know that there's other plans that God is moving you guys into areas ministry-wise and whatnot. So now, and we've been, we're always keeping in touch with the group chat with you, Diana, me, and Kiana, and we talk like every other day.
For sure.
Keeping that connection, visiting you guys back last year in Georgia, and then I think 2 years ago as well. But last year we stayed for the whole week, so that was fun.
Which I have to say though, you guys keep that chat alive, so I appreciate the intentionality from you guys, man.
Amen. We're definitely going back in March of next year, so we'll definitely be seeing you guys again. And then you get to meet Naima finally for the first time.
I know, super excited to meet that baby girl, That's a clone of Kiana right there.
I know, she's happy. You keep telling her that she loves that, because she loves it. about me. It's a little mix of both of us, but
no.
yeah. So you mentioned about your father
Mhm.
not really having a father in your life, and very loosely, you know what a man was or what a father looks like. Now you are a father of three kids, and
Indeed.
that's a lot of
Indeed.
work. That's
It
a lot of
is.
work, and you work. You have a wife, and so before you got married,
Mhm.
and especially before having a kid, were you fearful of even getting married or thinking of having kids because you did not have a father in your life?
Hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and say no, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
explain why. I didn't think through that. It didn't go that far for me. It was I can't wait to get married because everybody else around me is married, so I just want to get married. Like this is fun. I want to do it. So it didn't hit me, and I think I wish I would have thought that through, because it would have been better for Diana. I think it would have been
Mm,
better for my kids if I would have just thought that through and said, "Hey, is there any trauma, anything you're dealing with, anything you gotta get, work through?" Um, I think had I done that, I would have loved Diana better in the beginning of our marriage.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Hmm.
And now that you became a father, what is a big challenge for you being a father? Whether it's with one child or maybe it's more challenging with three kids. Like, what is a challenge that you have experienced or are experiencing that you are a father of three kids?
I'm the father of three kids. Okay, so I have three kids, and so I think for me personally, the challenge have has looked differently with each
Mm,
one. With Seth being the first, there was a level of I'm gonna give you everything I never had, and that spoiled him. And he is
mm,
till this day. I'm trying to navigate that of kind of removing that spoiledness from him. With Camila, it was my she didn't love. Not I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. She didn't want me at all the whole first year and a half. Like
mm.
she did not want me at all, brother. Like I couldn't carry her, I couldn't hold her, I couldn't do
Wow.
nothing. But now she cannot let me go. And so with her, right, with Seth, it's kind of like, okay, I need to be a father figure, and I'm gonna give you everything I didn't get. With Camila, it's like, okay, I need to be very mindful. And I think the one thing that I work on now continuously is mindful on the way I speak to my wife,
Mhm,
mindful on the way I treat my wife, right? Because now my daughter's gonna see that, and if I treat her messed up, she's gonna say, "Oh, that's the type of guy I should have." Because at the same
mhm.
time, that's the same guy my mom stayed with.
Yeah.
So there's that challenge of being very careful. Of course, with Seth, you want to show him how a man loves his spouse. So
Mhm.
there's that level too. But with a woman, you're like, no, I specifically want to make sure that you don't and then with Titus, he's just the one where like I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like and he's the one with the most amount of energy
Oh
and
man.
he's kind of a mix of he's a boy, but then he's Camila and he's rowdy and he has an attitude and he's just
Mm,
excessive and I'm like and so the challenge with the number three Seth is kind of finding this way of not spoiling him and showing him that there's value in working hard for things.
yeah.
Camila just trying to be an example of a good husband to my wife with, and then Titus just being present with him, man. He can be the one that I dismiss the most. Like, all right, I'm just trying to. You guys focus on D. You focus on him. I'll focus on these two, and it seems to be that every time for bed. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna focus on you guys to brush your teeth, Titus. And so I struggle with giving Titus enough attention.
Mm.
And
So
I
you
think
just
that's
tired.
the struggle
Mhm.
between us three. Yeah, because I'm just tired. Yes.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And he's the one
So
that requires the most attention.
yeah.
So that's
Oh,
why.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So living in this world, this chaotic world that we have, right?
Hmm.
Imperfect world, unfortunately, because of sin. Um, chaotic world with believers and unbelievers in it. How do you navigate? How do you navigate time management, which is very hard for a lot of people?
How
Because
do
you
I
work,
navigate
you
him?
have
Yeah.
to tend to your wife, you have to, you pay bills, you make sure the house is good too, and then you also gotta sometimes cook, and then the kids are
Mm.
like, man, like at what point do you breathe? Like, how do you in the world of chaos like that?
It's challenging, I think, and this happened recently, so I kind of want to show you how I'm working on that, creating or just time management. So you have to look at my schedule. My schedule is Monday, I go to work, I come home, I gotta cook. I gotta cook enough for the next day because
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday I go to school, I go to work, I go to school. I don't get out of school till 9, 10. So
Wow.
from the moment I leave in the morning, I get here, the food is ready. My wife puts it on the table. I'm upstairs because I get out of
Right.
work at 4:30, get home at 5. School starts at 5:30 till 9, 10.
Wow.
Then Wednesdays, um, my wife goes to cohort. So now I gotta work with the kids, keep them up. That gives me a little bit of space to kind of do homework and do some studying if I have to. And then recently there was this licensure class that they wanted me to take, which was on Thursdays.
Mm.
That I had to say no to.
Yeah.
I was like, I was doing it, and then I know this is just becoming too much. And so the way I navigate time management is I organize my weeks in a way that's going to be beneficial for me, my classes, and my family. So what does that look like for me? I have classes on Tuesday, right? When I have class on Tuesday, I have two classes right now. I have Greek and I have ecclesiology, right?
Mm.
So I know that ecclesiology is going to require me to read a lot more. So what I have is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I work on reading all the material for ecclesiology, writing any papers for it. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I work on Greek. Greek,
Mm.
it's not much reading, but it requires a lot more. It requires a lot more thinking, a lot more processing. Why this language is the way it is? Why did he refer to this than this? And all this happens. Watch it at 4:30 in the morning. So the way I time manage is I gotta wake up before everybody wakes up in the house, and I don't do work when I get home. No
Mm.
schoolwork is done from the moment I get home to the moment I go to sleep. No schoolwork is done. Me and my wife have a routine of once we put the kids down at 7:30, we're down here 7:30, 8:30, 9, hanging out with each other, getting connecting, watching a show if we want to, watching the Jets. We've been recently watching them. And then Friday nights we have don't do that. Don't do that. Friday nights we
That's
have
Kiana's fault. She's the one who sent that message the other day.
no. So Friday nights we have every Friday night except this last one. We've been having movie nights, right? So we have movie nights, and so yeah, just having the space before dinner. We have devotionals. We'll open a book. We'll have a devotional. So I'm very intentional. I'm very structured in the way I do things, which is
Mm.
not always helpful. Sometimes there's things for just being spontaneous. That's not for me. I like things very structured.
I'm like spontaneous either.
And so it throws me off when it is spontaneous. Like, wait, no. So we do that at night. We also do something called sin and blessing kind of thing, where we kind of confess a sin to each other, and then we say, okay, something that God's been good to us about, or some people say highs and lows, bad and goods, happy and crappy, I guess, whatever you want, So we do that, and I think so. For me, it's just I'm very structured. So time management comes pretty easy to me because I'm so structured. And so yeah, that's how I kind of do things, man.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned Diana how putting the kids to sleep at this time that had like as far as co-parenting, how do you guys handle or work together as far as raising kids? Like I'm gonna give you an example. It doesn't have to be this specifically, but let's say for example, Camila, she wants something and she goes to Diana and Diana says no. But then Camila is smart, she's gonna go to daddy. And let's see if daddy says yes. Now, has that happened with Seth and or Camila, where she went to one of you for something and you said no, and then they went to the other parent to see? And if so, how do you navigate that? Like, does Diana tell you, or vice versa? Oh, listen, this person, your child came up to me to, but no, say no, because then one parent saying yes and the other one saying no, that's gonna crash,
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't happen as often. Um, it has happened more with Seth than anybody else. And Diana would tell me like, "Hey, Seth," or she'll tell Seth, "Hey, Seth, didn't I just tell you no? Why would you go ask Daddy?"
Mm,
And then he'll feel bad about it. One thing that I need to get better at, to be honest, is I'm very loose in my parenting. right? Like, y'all want 100 apples? Y'all gonna eat 100 apples. I don't care. I'm like, eat all the apples. Figure it out, right? So my wife is very like, nah, y'all gonna eat 2 apples, and that's it. And so one of the things that like they'll, I tend to choose less battles, and so you'll see a lot of like they're coming downstairs crying because they want an apple, and my wife said no apples, and
Mm.
now gently, sometimes most of the time, I'll be like, babe, but why can't they have an apple? That's a healthy thing for them to have. And so she's like, all right, whatever, then give them the apple. But I think I need to do a better job of maybe going upstairs and saying, hey, babe, don't you think it's better if they eat apples instead of like candy? They're eating something healthy.
Mhm.
I think doing more of that in private than rather than doing publicly in front of the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
that
I think
makes
we
sense.
agree mostly. I think she's a what we call a helicopter mom. So
Uh,
he's gonna fall, he's gonna fall, he's gonna fall. Oh, and she's very
that's
like, and I'm more
Kiana.
like,
I think
you'll
Kiana's that
figure it
way.
out. You'll get up.
Yeah, I've experienced very few moments where I think Caleb or something where he like fell or almost to fall, and she just like, and I'm more like watching, not
Yeah,
going after him,
yeah, no,
because in my mind, oh, he's just gonna fall to the floor and probably cry, and that's it. Like it's not, you know.
yeah,
And none of us are wrong, you know.
yeah,
Neither
yeah,
are wrong, but it's just I see that.
yeah. So it's tough for us because sometimes I'm like, but get him off of there. I'm like, but I'm not worried. But why I gotta get him off? I'm not worried. So I'm trying to be compassionate to how she's feeling, what
Mm,
makes her anxious, right? So I'm trying to, I don't know, Titus, get down from there. So that's the only thing. I wouldn't say we clash. We just see things differently in
yeah,
that area of like, man,
yeah,
I'm just chill.
yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I wanted to ask too. um, Backtrack. When you guys moved to Georgia, you only had 2 kids, I believe, right? You only had two.
We
Like,
only had 2. That's correct. We knew about the third, but we only had 2.
yeah. How was that transition? Because I mean, that's from one state to another state with kids, and that's a transition that we probably, looking into and whatnot. But like, how was that transition? Because I can only imagine it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I'll explain why I don't think it's as bad as it kind of appears to be. Because our kids were never in school, so they
Mm,
don't have friends. Like they have grandparents that they see occasionally and cousins, but they don't have. For Seth, it was a little harder because he had his cousin Cassie, so that was a bit of a distance kind of shock for him. But it just he wasn't in school, so he was like, "Oh, we're going somewhere new. This is new. This is awesome. Like this is amazing." We're like, "Yeah, we're going somewhere new." With the transition we're looking to make now, as you know of, not trying to speak too much on it, but that's more of a shocker for him.
yeah.
Like, whoa, wait a minute, I have friends here now. Like, I know people. I have a girlfriend, quote unquote. I don't know what that even means, but so it's kind of like a big shock to him about that. And so coming here wasn't that bad for us as far as our kids. For us personally, it was something exciting too, something different, something we were looking forward to.
Mm,
So it wasn't as challenging as the one coming up now.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that makes sense. Have you ever experienced going off on your kids because out of emotions or what, or, even if they did wrong and you just felt so bad, or like, dang, I should have not said that, or I should have not gone that way, and you actually had to, sit down with them or give them a hug and like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like this. And if so, did they respond to that, or were we just more like, okay?
No, I've never done that. I've been such a perfect parent. No, I'm lying, but I feel that all the time. I think in the beginning of my parenting, I was that definitely got I don't know what it was, and I was talking to my therapist about it. Like, I don't know why in the beginning of parenting, I was just so angry. I was
Mm,
so quickly frustrated. Like anything would trick me. Like I'll yell really loud. I wouldn't spank, but I would yell really loud, and I'm like, why am I like this? I've calmed down throughout the years. But yeah, for sure. I've oftentimes had to go to my son and be like, I'm sorry. It doesn't feel good. It feels awkward. But I'm like, I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. I remember one time, a few months ago. I'm gonna be
mm,
honest with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. We were walking the dog, and my dog is big, and she's strong. And
mhm.
so my kids don't walk my dog. I walk her, and they walk with me. And my daughter's like, I want to walk the dog. I want to walk the dog. I
Oh
want to
boy.
hold it. And I'm like, I gave it to Seth instead of Camila. And Seth grabs it and he's pulled by the dog and he falls. And I'm like, you see, and I'm yelling. Now I'm yelling at the neighbor. You see, this is why I don't let you walk the dog, because y'all can't hold her. And he's like, but I didn't want to walk her. I didn't ask to walk her. Oh my, you making fun of me, bro. But yeah, so he starts crying. He's like, but I didn't want to walk her. I didn't ask you to walk her. And so I'm like, I'm sorry, you're right. Camila asked me. But Camila, you see, this is why. And I had to say, I'm sorry, you were right. I shouldn't have yelled. I shouldn't have told you this. It wasn't your fault. I shouldn't have given you the leash. I know better. So often, I am apologizing to my kids, and just kind of trying to display the grace. Like, I display a lot of grace to my kids. I just try to be honest, be vulnerable. Hey, I shouldn't have talked to mommy that way, or things like that. Hey, I wasn't too nice to mommy, or I wasn't too nice to Camila. And that's where the sin and the blessing kind of thing and the night comes into play, where we can kind of confess that and say, how deep are we willing to go? Hey, look, I did this morning,
Right. That makes sense. Between the three kids, who is closest to mom and who's closest to dad?
Who is closest to mom and who is closest to dad right now in this season?
I guess however you want to.
So I would say Titus is closest to mom. Camila is closer to me. But mind you, this is, and I'm just making the assumption based on my household that all the households are all the other households are like this. If they get her, they don't want their father.
What?
At all.
That's because they need that nurturing mom.
Yeah. They go straight to their mother. If they want to have fun, they know who to call.
So I'm assuming, and I think this is the same with me and Keon, I'm assuming Diana's the more stern one than you. Not that you're not a parent and need to do what you got to do, but I feel like you're more because of the fun one, you're more the loose one compared to Diana.
Absolutely. And I get it. Sometimes I don't see the full effect of my lucidness. So, for example, like, they just took a shower. We have a garage, as you know, and we keep it closed, and we'll put the car out, and then they can kind of ride their bike there. To her, it's kind of like, well, I just showered them, and they're clean, and now they're riding a bike and getting dirty because you want to be too loosey and goosey and try to do whatever you want. Like, no, like, and so I understand that aspect of it. But yeah, I'm just very, like, nonchalant, playing monster. I'm just like, run around, do whatever you want to do. Like, I'll clean the house after, right? Before my wife gets home from cohort on Wednesdays, I'll make sure the house is clean. But just run around. Y'all want to color? Get some paper, color some. Like, I'm just, have fun. Enjoy yourself. But then I can be, for nighttime, I'm the stern one. I'm very strict. Let's go brush your teeth. Let's go down. Me and mommy need time. Y'all need to go to bed. But yeah, I'm chill. I'm chill.
As a father, as a Christian father, right, living in this world, and you already see what's going on in our nation, unfortunately, politically, and which is really a lot of moral issues, not really political, but how the morality of this country is just going straight down, and they're going after our children in many ways. What goes through your mind in the midst of all of that? Because, as parents, we want to feel like we want to control everything and protect our kids from every single thing. And we know that's not possible, because we can't. And we're not always going to be there either for our kids, because the kids either may be in school or they may be here, this and that. And you're just worrying about them. Like, for me, I work with middle school and high school students and I'm very big when it comes to human trafficking and all that kind of stuff. So I see so many things, and I'm already, my kids are not yet in school age, but I'm already thinking about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm already scared for them. I'm like, I'm like, God, like, I don't want them in that school or in this public school system. Like, I think about all these different things, and it's scary, and it's only going to get worse while the grace of God is going to, abound. But as a father of three young kids who are, one day going to be up in the school age, high school, like, and then I don't know where their world's going to turn into, going after their kids, like, What are your thoughts on all that?
Man, Maranatha, come Lord, come. I mean,
For
that's
real.
what you think about. Like, just come, Lord, please. I'm grateful right now that my son is not in a place or in a level, right? So you're gonna get like fifth grade is when you're gonna start seeing these kind of weird things. So he's in second
Mhm.
grade right now, so he doesn't see much of anything. As far as like these moral things happen all over the world. But she was the prize. Let's be clear. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the message.
All
But
right, all right. This is
yeah, man, I
Duran.
think I think I try to be intentional, Francie. I know falls or fails, maybe fails. But yeah, so one of the things that I think about is just kind of just showing them, right? So I
Mm.
can, Lord, help me instruct my kid in the way that he should go. And is he ever gonna depart? Like the Bible says, he should never depart from it. I think there's a level there of you'll remember this. You're gonna do what you want to do. That's fine, but you'll
Right,
remember
right.
this. And I think I'm just trying to instill, hey, Adam and Eve, hey, even with stories, hey, God made Adam and Eve. What do you think was wrong there, like with the world? Oh, because he's seen stuff on TV sometimes, or he's not as exposed to it because I mean we go out, but we don't see it all over the place here. We're in a
Right.
southern state, so you're not gonna see it um as kind of out there. But just talking to him about it, like, so what do you think about that? What do you think about two males or two female? That's not. See, that doesn't seem how God created him. I don't think so either. Based on what we see in the Bible, he created this way, and then he said to be fruitful and multiply, and I think he has a purpose for that, right? So just kind of talking to them about it. I mean, is there a level of fear, right? Sure, because as a parent, you want to cover your kids from all the bad that's out there. I remember one time, my son was homeschooled, and my son he's smart, right? So he's almost like the nerds,
Hmm.
and so it's fearful. I remember him going back to school, and I cried. And my wife was like, "Oh, why are you crying?" I was like, "I just don't want him to be made fun of. I
Hmm.
don't want them to bully him and hurt his confidence. He's a smart kid. That's a beautiful thing to have. That's a great gift to have. This natural ability to just get things." And so another level is trusting in the Lord, man. One of the thing when Titus was born, he was born with he got tested and he was born with this disease, this
Hmm.
weird disease. And one of my prayers was to the Lord was like, "You love him more than I ever could.
Hmm.
And if that's reality, I know that you'll do what's best for him." By God's grace, you could see it either way. They tested wrong or he was healed. One of the two. Doesn't matter to me as he still doesn't have it. Um, but I think I walk with the in the space of like instructing them, and then I walk in the space of you love them more than I ever could, Lord. Protect them and pray for them every morning. Try to really ask the Lord to cover their mind. Um, but yeah, the world. I was in the world. I'm still associated with the world, and you're kind of like, this is a bad place for this kid to grow up in. But there's so much light that can be shined on these people. There's so much love that can be shown for these people, um, rather than kind of hide from them and stay away from them. It's kind of like, hey man, there's hope for you too. You
Right,
know.
right. Yeah,
hmm
the bullying thing is a big deal. I mean, a lot of
hmm
kids go through stuff, like just
Do you see
recently.
that often in high school?
I see bully all the time. Well, this is a thing though. There's one thing that's bullying, but you're really just playing around with them,
Okay.
and then you got the real bullying. So I do see it. I've had to bring kids out of the room and talk to them like, listen, no, you can't be doing that. That's bullying, etc. But
hmm
I remember last month because I'm helping out at the after school program right now at a middle school, and I have about 15 to 19 kids, and usually I split the class to one. They do like photography, the other one does something else. But there was this one Filipina girl.
mm
She's new in the country, and you can tell, and she's excited to be doing photography and da da da. And this happened outside of my watch, but they were in another classroom for tutoring with another teacher, and it turns out that she came down with the other teacher. She was crying. I'm like, what in the world? So it so happened that this one sixth grader, short girl,
hmm
I don't know what she was doing. It seemed like she was telling other students to throw her book bag or her lunch bag. and that's a form of bullying. Like they never spoken before, and
Absolutely.
and the other kid threw the book bag. But the girl the first girl, she was trying to say that and blame the kid that he was the one that was trying to do it. But in reality, she just told him to do it.
Him to do it.
So even though it looked more bad on him because he threw the book bag, but she was really behind everything. So
The one
she
that
bullied
instigated
her.
it, yeah.
Yeah, she bullied her, and she came down. She was crying, and we had to call the parents and explain whatever. But we did suspend the student for like the whole week, and she couldn't come back for after school until the following week. But so and we think about our kids. Like my son, he wears hearing aids. We don't know, the fear of other kids making fun of him. I didn't have that issue. Oh, she just woke up. She hears us.
That's good. That's
um,
good. We're parents.
I never had that issue with my hearing aids because I never wore my hearing aids. I never wanted
Yeah.
to wear it. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So with Caleb, I pray and hope that that's not the case because he wears it every day.
Hmm.
And even though he's very young, 2 years old, the other toddlers around him, I don't think they recognize, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't
So
understand anyway. They're
it,
like,
it,
oh, okay,
it is
just
a fear, especially me being in the school system. But again, it's like you said, it's all about also communicating with your child about different things at age appropriate and whatnot. So that's very important, being close to them, and not only being close to them in a way that they trust you, that they can come to you and talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Because as Caribbean parents, they shut us down real quick,
real
and it
quick.
makes us feel like, okay, then I can't talk to you. I'm just gonna go talk to my friends or
Hmm.
find solutions in the streets or a solution in the pornography or solution or whatever the case may be. And I see that a lot with a lot of my students. They tell me like, I wish I could talk more with my parents, but they shut me down whenever I question or ask questions because it's like a sign of disrespect in the Caribbean culture, especially in the Haitian culture. So it's a lot. It's a
It
lot when
is.
it comes
It
to
is.
that.
Yeah.
You
And the reason
So
I bring that up, Manny, is because like I have young kids, right? So bullying, LGBTQ, those are the things
mm,
that you may navigate with. You're not gonna navigate with gangs, drugs. I mean, drinking. Maybe they are doing it at that age.
yeah,
I've never experienced it, never seen it. But those are the things that I'm kind of like making sure to keep an eye out and kind of trying to gear him the right way. But at the end of the day, I know he's gonna have to make his decision. He's gonna
yeah,
have to have his encounter with God. But I just want to steer him the right way, and then once he kind of learns how to drive, then go ahead and drive.
right. As a man of God, as a Christian father, like how do you model, I guess, biblical principles in your family and for your sons and daughters to watch? And I know being part of a local church is a big part as well.
Hmm. I think for us, one of the things that, like I told you in the beginning, I have to schedule my time with the Lord rather early because I won't do it when I get home from work. And so 4:30, they're not gonna see me. So I'm not gonna tell you, oh, they see me pray and read the scriptures and be an intense prayer in my war room, my prayer war room. I ain't saying none of that stuff. What I'm going to tell you is that by my actions on loving my wife well, loving them well, doing devotionals with them,
Hmm.
having conversations about life with them, going to church, um, having this family time, like I let those things speak for themselves. Um, for example, um, we're reading a story. These are
Hmm.
little things. I don't get theologically deep with my kids. I was trying to do the timeline because we were doing like the biggest story, and I was trying to do a timeline of the covenant of works, the covenant of grace, the covenant of common grace, and all that. I'm like, nah, I gotta stop that. But it was like something, something, something. The Lord, something, something, something. God, and he's like, why do they call it? Why do they say God and then they say Lord? Like, what's the difference? And I'm sitting down with Seth, trying to tell him the difference. Like, oh, this means this and this, and Lord is Jesus. And it was like, those are the moments for me. I'm not as structured there of like, we're gonna learn this today, and you're gonna,
Yeah.
man, let's go to this devotion. The devotions are simple. They're a story of the Bible, and we talk
Hmm.
about it. Hey, how does that make you feel? I think we were talking about Balaam. Hey, Balaam was on the road and he didn't see the angel of the Lord, and God told him to. Can we be as obedient as Balaam and say, nah, I'm not gonna do what the other people want me to do. I'm gonna do what God tells. Like just simple things And so that's what's been helpful for me, and that's what I do as a godly man, trying to be an example outside of being an example of a loving husband, saying I'm sorry, showing grace, which I probably show too much of, but I'm working on that. And so things like that, Manny, have been really helpful for me. Praying with them. Hey, we should pray for your friend because he's sick, right? Let's pray for him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
kind of instill that.
What do you think Diana loves about you as a father?
The father. Diana, love
I say
about
something
me.
different, but what do you think?
What do I think Diana loves about me in fatherhood? I would probably say the way I have fun with my kids.
Mm,
I never had a father, so I don't know what fun having fun with your kids. I play Monster. I mean, I tickle them. I mean, we just joke around. I hurt them sometimes, which I'm sorry. I have to apologize for that too. But I'm a little rough sometimes. Not with my daughter, but with the other two, I'm definitely rough. The younger one likes the roughness. The older one, not so much. But yeah, I think I just have fun with them. She sees their joy when they're around me. They're not fearful of me.
mm-hmm.
In a sense of like, oh, he's, like, oh my gosh, I can't say anything to him because he's gonna be afraid. Like, um, the way I have easy conversations, especially
Yeah.
with Seth, right? So, for example, I'll show you all three of the kids, but I think she's told me this. But like with Seth, for example, he says he has a girlfriend, right? And I'm putting his business out there. He says he gave the girl a peck in the mouth. Now, Seth doesn't know about kissing outside of me and my wife, and
Mm-hmm.
he knows that this is something that we've desired and we do as a married couple. And so I tell him like, hey Seth, like I understand that you did that and I'm not upset. Like I'm glad, thank you for sharing that with me. But you did the right thing at the wrong time.
Mm.
This is just not the time for you to do that. So how about we do this? How about we just give her a hug? That's pretty cool, right? You can give her a hug. And just stay there, enjoy that, and don't do that, right? Boom. So I'm able to come in into an understanding manner with Seth and say, hey, this is how we're going to navigate this space. Now, I could have been like, what are you doing kissing a girl? You crazy? Don't ever do that again. Now, that doesn't bring vulnerability. I can't be honest with my father. He's going to yell at me.
Right.
With Camila, there's a lot of like, hey, how about we breathe? When she's really upset, she gets really hurt when she gets upset. So she's like, she takes it personal. So she cries really loud. I'm like, hey, can we breathe for a second? If you don't tell me why you're upset, then I can't help you. So with her, I need more. With Seth, with correction comes, I can be very stern and he'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
With Camila, if I'm stern, she gets even more stirred up. So I'm like, okay, let me eye level. This is what we got to do. With Titus, I'm like, just give me a hug. Come here, bud. Just give me a hug. I know that you're upset. And so I think she likes the fact that I can that I can make myself relatable with the kids in the sense of like comforting them
Yeah.
and also just having fun. Like we run around, we jump on the bed, we play Monster, we play I think shop. They like to be like the owners of a shop, and I have to kind of
Yeah.
buy stuff. And so those are the things that she's told me. So I'm being clear on like, hey, that she's told me these are things that she loves that I do as a father. Although self-esteem wise, I struggle with believing that I've been a good father. Sometimes I'm like, these kids are screwed up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. When they're gonna grow up, they're like, my father screwed me up, or but yeah, those are the things that she's encouraged me with.
Have your kids? Maybe it's too early, but this usually happens a lot with kids and parents. Have your kids ever told you out of, I guess, anger and being upset, I hate you, daddy?
My daughter, my daughter,
Really?
it broke my heart, man. The only one that's done it, the only one, and it broke my heart. I said, what? And I'm honest. So I was like, hey, Camila, you hurt my feelings. That really hurt me the way you said that. And then she was still upset, so she was saying whatever but that was the only child. She said it twice, and I'm counting.
Wow, that's
Because when she
crazy.
goes, I'm like, you said it this amount of times. You said it to me. The guy's about to pay for your wedding. you know? But yeah, that. It really hurt me though, man. Yeah, genuinely was hurt by that. And I know she didn't mean it. She's a 2-year-old. I mean, she's a 4-year-old girl, but I felt that in my heart. I was like, wow.
Damn, I'm not waiting for that moment.
I know. I hope you never experience it, brother.
For real. I want to switch gears to more of the financial aspects of
Ooh, let's talk about money.
being being a husband, being the provider. I mean, obviously she works too, but being the provider and whatnot. And I know because you're just like me and you are spenders. Even with
Indeed,
little
indeed.
things here and there, and yeah. So even though you're more of a spender, free spirited is what they call it, right?
Hmm.
In general, like talk about that. How do you navigate the finances in the family? Who pays what? Who does the calculation, and who is there a budget that happened? Is there a budget meeting that happened with your wife once a month? Anything like that?
All right. So first, I'm gonna preface the conversation by saying my wife and I, all the money goes into one account. So I'm gonna say we pay all the bills. Like we pay this, we pay. This is how we distribute that money.
So I guess
And
okay.
so
Let me clarify then. Let me clarify
yeah.
what I meant by who pays the bills.
Okay. Okay.
So I that's good that you brought that up though, because obviously, it's our money. Even if she
Yeah.
gets paid from her check for her job and you get paid for it's still our money. I think what I
Yeah.
was trying to say to clarify is that who's the one sitting down on the computer and making the payments?
Okay. Okay. I
That's
gotcha.
what I was.
So, so in my household, I'm the one that does all the finances run through me. Diana, I'm the I love math. I love numbers. I love Excel sheets. I love that stuff. Diana loves reading, English, all that gets teaching. She loves that stuff. And so, yeah, I do the budget, and that requires self control.
Mm,
Because if I do the budget, for example, we have $200 left over this paycheck. Let's just say, because we didn't give it a number. I know Dave Ramsey gives it a name. We didn't give it a name this time,
mhm.
right? I can say, well, I'm gonna spend 100 extra on these sneakers. My wife doesn't need to know because I do the budget. I know we have $100 left over. So there's a lot of looseness there of like, oh, well, I could do these things that she doesn't know about. Maybe she wants a book for
Mm,
$25, or she wants to buy something for $50, but she doesn't know how much money's in the budget. So she's like, oh,
yeah.
I don't think we have enough money. So I'm not even gonna ask him. And I know. And so I think that has gotten me in trouble a lot of times. I've gotten things that I probably shouldn't have gotten. Um, so now there's a communication. Hey, babe, there's this much left over in the paycheck.
Mhm,
What would you like to do with it? Do you
mm,
want to put into savings? Um, right now we have an American Express credit card and for Delta, and so we buy, pay back, buy, pay
yeah.
back, buy, pay back, go back and forth just to get the points or whatever. But I think no, we have two more other credit cards. Yeah, we're paying off, and so yeah, so we just asking, do you want to pay off this? Um, but I handle the budget. Is she has access to it, but I'm the one that handles the budget as
Yeah.
far as if she tells me, hey babe, like for example, she told me a friend of her sister in DR, I want to give her money. Okay,
Mhm,
cool. Let's how much you want to give her? Okay, I'm gonna put it in the budget. We do have enough money for that. Let's send her money. So everything's kind of run by me, but it's still discussed between us. I think I need to do a better job at creating a conversation or
mm,
creating a space that anything above $50, let's talk about it. Let's have a
okay.
conversation about it before you spend for me, not for her, because
Yeah.
she asks me all the time. But for me, hey babe, I'm trying to spend this much on liquid IV or whatever. Can I do that? Is that you think that's good? Is there any way we can wait for next paycheck? Is there any way we can? Is there anything else that we're missing that we didn't calculate? And so that's how the budgeting kind of goes in it. In our household, we also have like you get a $50 a paycheck for like yourself.
Mhm.
Um, so she has $50, and so she'll tell me, "Hey, babe, I spent 51 or 52. Can you just adjust the budget?" And I'm like, "All right."
Right.
But to answer the question simply, I do the budget. She does not. She
Right.
hates
Yeah.
it. She tried it. She tried it for a few weeks, and she's like, "Oh no, you need to take this back."
All
It's
right.
a lot of
No,
because I have
I'll
an
just
Excel
read
sheet.
it and you do the rest.
Yeah, it's an Excel sheet, so it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
With these formulas and things like that. And so maybe if
I'm
she did
good.
it your way, it'll be easier.
That I use and let it do all that
Yeah,
for me. I just put in the numbers and when
I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. Yeah.
that's it. That's it. So what are the things that you tend to buy a lot?
What do I tend
Or
to buy a lot?
yeah, like what is something that you just have a habit of spending money on?
Sneakers. That's as simple as it gets. I have over 25 pairs of sneakers. I buy sneakers all the time. Now I've
Wow.
stopped. My wife said no more.
You probably
Actually,
will
no.
have the
I'm
one.
sorry. Let me take that back. I apologize, Lord. I'm sorry for lying. I just bought one with her permission. I bought another pair of sneakers for walking because we're gonna be walking where we're going. We're actually going to Peru in November for our anniversary for 9 years being married. So I was like, I need shoes to walk because I don't have shoes to walk. I just have these cool shoes, and I don't want to wear cool shoes to walk. Like they hurt my feet. So I bought myself $100 pair of sneakers from Nike to walk. No, I'm sorry. Yes, 100. And they were 140, but still, it's around there or something. You know?
It's around there. You sure it wasn't 160?
No, it was actually, but then there was like a sale, so I got less.
$20.
Yeah, there was a $20 discount for that one. Like, thank God. But
yeah, I have like about 13 pairs, I think.
Look at that. See, I'm not the only one.
Well, you have 25.
I know. I have too much, man. I have too much. So I put a halt on it, though. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop just because, it's all vanities, man. Like all this, I just like sneakers. It's not about impressing people, but I just feel like I have a little too much. It's excessive, Yeah.
Got it. That's cool. So I'm done with the questions.
Oh, okay, we're done with the questions.
First,
what we got next?
I'm going to answer some bonus questions.
Ooh, are we going to have a secret guest or no?
No.
No.
Yeah, your mom.
that would be no good, yeah.
So I'm going to answer some bonus questions that I have for you. Some of them are fun, some of them are a little more serious. The first one is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day until you die. Would you rather have bad breath or smelly feet?
Smelly feet? You ain't gonna smell my feet ever, bro. I'll read my sneakers. You'll never smell them bad boys again. My breath, there's nothing you can do about that, bro. You're stuck. That stuff is out there for everyone to smell.
All right. Okay. All right, ready for this one? This one's tough.
All right, oh, man.
Would you rather brush your teeth with toothpaste that's always going to smell like shrimp?
Oof.
Or use deodorant that's always going to smell like rotten cheese or rotten milk?
All right, so I'm going to answer the question, and I'm going to explain why, though, okay? I'm going to go ahead and go with the shrimp-tasting toothpaste because I love shrimp. Rotten milk and cheese, I don't like that. So I just have to choose the thing that I like. Other people may not like the smell of it, but I know that I will be enjoying my shrimp-smelling breath.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. What's the most or one of the most embarrassing things you've ever done?
One of the most embarrassing things I've ever done. All right, so check this out. I tell the story all the time. It traumatized me. That's how embarrassing it is. So there's this group of people in my middle school. He said deodorant. Kiana said deodorant. So there's a group of kids in my middle school, and I'm not a popular kid in middle school, right? I'm just trying to. Maybe it was elementary school. Not a popular kid, and there is this group that's kind of popular. They're kind of cool, and I want to kind of be associated with them. So I'm like, oh, I go with them. But they want nothing with me. And so one of the girls in that group has a birthday party. She's having a birthday party, intimate, small, but she's having a birthday party. I find out where it is, but I'm not invited. But I said, you know what? But like, if I show up, what they're gonna say? Like, oh, they're gonna be like, oh wow, you came. I didn't know you would know that you would come. I almost thought in my head, like, if I come, then they would have thought that I got invited. Because that's the only way I would have known the address or something. And I was fooling myself, I guess. And so I told my mom to dress me with some nice shorts, a nice shirt. And I told her, this time, Mom, get me some sandals. So it was the strap sandals, the Velcro ones. Because for the first time, I'm going to show my toes. I don't know what that was. I don't know what was going on in my head, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to show my feet. And they're going to be like, oh, Brian, look at your feet. They're super cool. I don't know what I was thinking. But I need a gift. So I had a Six Flags piggy bank, and I took all the coins out of it, and it was a piggy, and it was glass, and I took it. I'm like, I'm going to take it to her house. Mom takes me to her house. She lets me go. I go upstairs. She literally opens the door and says, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, I came for your birthday party. I got you this." She's like, "Oh, so you went to Six Flags to get me this?" She started laughing while like a movie, like a movie. She's like, "All right, just come in. I guess you're here." She sits me down with every other kid, and they're just making fun of my feet the whole time.
No way.
I was not. I kid you not. They're making fun of my feet I think it was like 15
man.
minutes, and then like adults came in with music or whatever. 15 minutes of making fun of my feet. That was
That
probably the
sucks.
most traumatizing and embarrassing moment of my life. You will never catch me go to a party uninvited again.
Wow. All right, that was
Indeed.
good.
Indeed.
All right. If you could have a deep conversation with any historical figure or a fictional character, who would it be?
Historical figure or fictional character. Can it be a fictional character from like a movie that I saw?
Anything.
Okay. So my favorite movie of all time is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, you're
And so
right.
I would love to meet Willy Wonka and just talk to him about, well, he's not real, obviously, I know that, but I would love to talk to him about like his chocolate and the candies he's made and help me walk with him and taste it and all that good stuff. And because I love that movie so much, that is the one person that I would love to meet, which I know he doesn't exist. Hear me out. I know he doesn't exist. The man does, but the actual character doesn't. That was something that I would love. I wish I was Charlie. Like I always,
Yeah.
when I watched that movie, I wish I was the one that was Charlie in that movie.
Did you see the new movie
Indeed.
for that one?
I saw two of them. It's two of them already that are new. One with Johnny Depp and the other one's with another character. I think I don't know. He's in a movie, but I don't remember his name. But that's the newest one with that character. It's about Willy Wonka's story though. That one.
Yeah. Got it. All right, cool. You ready for this one?
I'm not.
Would you rather wake up naked in a forest 5 miles from home or in your underwear at work?
Wow. So I have a question. If a person is naked in the forest and no one's there to see it,
There's nobody there. It's just a forest.
but I still got to get out to get home.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the forest because my ancestors have given me an idea of taking leaves and covering yourself up when you realize that you're naked. So I'm going to take that and then Eve route, and I'm going to go ahead and cover myself up with some leaves and just try to get out of it. Not at work, not with underwears, yo. Like, that's just crazy, man.
That was good. Fig leaves.
I know.
Hide themselves like Adam and Eve after they sin.
Absolutely, bro. I'm going to do that real quick. Man, oh, man.
Oh, man. All right, next one.
All right.
If you could witness any historical event, which one would you choose?
If I could witness any historical event, which one would I choose? If I could experience, if I could experience anything, any historical event, man, there's two that I think of. One is extremely bad, and so I've heard so much about it, like in high school and growing up, and so I've kind of wanted to kind of be there. Probably not to see it. It'd probably be a horrible sight, and that's the Holocaust. Just a demented person, kind of Hitler doing all that stuff. The other one is Martin Luther King's speech.
Oh wow!
I would. For me, I would like to be there, just kind of being with all these people. An impactful moment. At that moment, you don't think this is gonna be an impactful. This is gonna be going on for years. You just kind of, I'm just here for this event, and for me to be able to be there and know that it's gonna be big. I think those are the two moments that I can think of right now in the in this moment. that I would like to
Yeah.
kind of just see and experience. Not experience the Holocaust. That would be kind of tough, but yeah.
Nice. Nice. If you could erase one past mistake, what would it be?
If I could erase one past
Just
mistake,
one.
what could it be? If I could make one past mistake, uh, I could erase one past mistake. That's good. This one's good. This one's good. I would say, um, if I could erase one past mistake. Wow, you got me thinking for real right now. I'm thinking about all my mistakes. I have so many, so I can't pick one. I think saving myself for marriage.
Mm,
I think I would have wished that. I think it would have been better for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. This one's really good. Uh,
Okay.
would you rather save the lives of your three closest family members or a
Hmm.
thousand people you do not know?
Hmm. Are my three closest family members Christian?
It's just wrong. It's just
Because if
like
I say my wife and my kids, then that's still tough. Wait, hold on. Oh man,
that is
can I be
tough.
honest though?
Go ahead.
Those 1,000 people are gonna have to figure it out. They going, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry,
your,
y'all. I'm sorry,
your
1,000 of
wife,
y'all.
your
I'm
wife is going
sorry.
to be very happy for this answer. Then
I was like, nah. That's my family. That's my family. But you can't tell me who the 1,000 people are. Just take them. I don't even want to. That's just that's just different. There's no way I could just. That one's hard.
God, good,
It's
good.
probably not the
All right,
Christian thing to say, but I'm picking my family out.
come on, you got to be like Jesus, right? He died for everybody.
Nah. I ain't him, yo. I am. What is? I am not he. What is? What is that?
He left the one to get the 99. You got to follow the example.
No. Yeah, I'm keeping the 3 and leaving the. Oh no, he wants to get the 99, right? Or the 1. He left the 99. I'm
Right.
leaving the 1,000 and getting the 3. Yeah.
All right. This one is: how do you cope with the uncertainties of life?
How do you cope with the uncertainties of life? I don't. I think that's one of my biggest struggles. Um, yeah, I think that's one of my biggest struggles. I just don't know. I don't like the unknown. I don't like how it makes me feel. It makes me anxious. It makes me fearful. It makes me worrisome. One of the practices that I've been doing now as of late is kind of like whenever I find myself to be anxious, one of the things I want to do is I want to call my wife. Hey, I'm feeling really anxious, but I think the Lord's been tugging at my heart to say, hey, come to me.
Mm,
And so
right.
what I do now, like for example, recently I had to have a conversation with someone, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was about, but I almost made some sort of assumptions of what it could be about, and so I was really
Mm,
anxious about it. And so at work, I went to an office that they have that no one's in that office, and I said, Lord, I'm really anxious and worried right now. And I literally put my hands out like this and said, I give it to you. Take it from me. Like I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be worried
yeah.
on what I don't even know. I'm creating scenarios and conversations that are not even real. Like here, take it. I don't want it. And so that's something
Mm,
that's as of late been helping me. I'm hoping that it continues to help me. Um, but yeah, that's something that I really struggle with, Manny. I need
mm,
to know. I'm structured. I want to know everything, any possible scenario, and when I don't, it just makes me feel really uncomfortable.
right. That makes sense. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. These two are so good. These next two.
Oh snap!
Would you rather date someone with their ex name tatted on their chest and it can't be removed, or date someone whose ex lives next door?
Mm, mm, damn. Now you got me thinking. Yeah. Can he move though, or no? He has to stay there.
No, forever until you die or they die.
Oh my gosh! Dang, yo.
It's hard because you're gonna see the tattoo every day, and then it's hard because you might just see the other person every day too.
I know. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say, give me the ex living next door, yo. Just whatever, yo. Just live next to me, brother. Whatever. I can't.
I would,
The I don't know where she has that tattoo in her body. But when you indulge in the privileges of marriage, you have to see that tattoo. Absolutely not, brother. You have the ex next door. Figure that out. There is no way I could do that. Nope. No.
that was good. That was good. How about this one? Would you rather get stuck in an elevator with your ex or with your partner and their ex?
Man, dang. I don't even remember my ex. I've been married for too long. I don't remember my ex. I'm sorry. I remember my ex. She said definitely the tattoo. I'm like, nah, no tattoo.
Mhm.
But I would have to say my wife and her ex, just because I'm
Mm.
there. Me being alone with my ex, I try not to be alone with any woman. So I'd rather me be there with my wife and her ex. And that was it, right? I'm there with my wife and her ex, or she's there by herself.
Well,
Okay,
you're with your wife already, but
okay.
yeah,
She's not with me though, and my
no, no,
ex.
no,
Just me.
no.
Not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna with her and her ex for sure. Yeah, it'll be awkward. Trust me, it'll be really awkward, but we'll be there together.
right. If you can give one piece of if you could give one piece of a relationship advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Take your time. And well, I'm talking about more marriage, right? Or you're talking more like just relationships?
Yeah. This one is yeah,
Just
relationship.
relationship. So relationships
Hmm.
up. Yeah, I'll be like, hey, don't rush into anything. I know there's pressure. I'm looking at you in the mirror right now. I know that there's pressure, and I know that it's hard. Just take your time. Everything flows better when you take your time. In marriage, you didn't take your time either, and it didn't work out well
Mm.
for you. So just take your time. But if you see this, just take your time. There you go. That's what I'll take.
All right. If you can have any superhero power, what would it be?
Any superhero power, what would it be? Uh, I want to read people's minds. That'll help with my anxiety.
I read people's minds. I'll be in prison.
What? Oh yeah,
Right up dead.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But I wanna. I think I'm very anxious on like I don't know what
Mhm.
people are thinking when I'm saying this, and so it would be nice to kind of. And if it's bad that they're thinking what they're thinking is bad, then it's even worse because now I'm even more anxious about what I'm saying. But yeah, reading people's minds, I think I would like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Two more.
Two more. All right, here we
Would
go.
you rather feel like you know your partner better than anyone, or feel like they surprise you every day?
I would like to know my partner more than anyone. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
all right. And the last one, which is
Here we
the
go. Drum roll,
best
please.
the best question of all, and answer wisely, especially if you want
Answer
to sleep
wise.
tonight. So, uh,
My wife is taking a
who
shower. She
is
ain't
better
hearing this, all right?
looking? Who is better looking, you or me?
Who? You or me?
You better answer because someone's in the chat watching this.
Wait, hold on. Who's better looking? You, Manny, or me or my wife?
No, me and you.
Me, bro. What the heck you talking about? I ain't giving you that. I don't care who's watching. I look better than Manny, all right?
Oh, snap.
Kiana, don't come for me. I'm Chocolate Thunder, yo.
Oh, man, that was fun.
Oh, man, that was good. That was good.
Anyways,
Mhm.
this was a good interview. Oh, damn, she said she looked better than both of us. You know what?
Oh,
You're right.
you do. You
Right.
do indeed. Yes.
Both
Yes.
of us. I agree. I agree.
Yep.
But yes, and this was a great talk. Great,
Yeah, for
sharing
sure.
your story, your life as a father in this chaotic world. So I appreciate you taking your time. Um, this interview, I felt a lot more ease compared to
Of course.
other
I mean, we're
interviews.
cool. Yeah.
We know each other, so it's like when I'm speaking to people who are strangers and I don't know them like that, so it's like I'm more like I don't know. I don't explain it, but I'm just more relaxed and chilled out right now. So it's
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
But yeah,
Yeah.
not for real. Thank you for sharing. I just hope everybody that watches that they can follow that example.
Hmm.
The godly parts, right? The good parts.
Yeah.
um,
I
you know,
know.
being a father and a child of God and whatnot,
Yeah.
and continue doing what you're doing, and we will continue talking, and our friendship, 23 years in, praise God for that, and yeah, and praise God, and we'll definitely see y'all soon in March.
Absolutely.
Can't wait,
Absolutely.
can't
Yeah,
wait.
Manny. Thank you so much for having me. It's fun. We chat like this all the time, so it's natural for me. I want to encourage parents out there, man. Parenting is hard. It's genuinely hard. It's a difficult thing, but it's such a fruitful and life giving thing. And so I think I want to just tell you, hey, if you're striving to be a holy parent, a godly parent, you're doing a great job. Keep up the hard work. Keep pushing through, um, and God will heal the wounds that maybe you and I have caused our children. But just keep striving to be present with your kids and love them well. But yeah, man, thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate
Amen,
you, brother.
amen. And folks, that is all that we have tonight. Please like the video, share it if you want, and stay tuned for next Wednesday. We're gonna
And
have
subscribe to his
yes,
channel.
guys,
Subscribe, it's
subscribe
good.
to the channel, please. Got me my 1,000 subscribers, so I can get paid. Now, stay tuned for next Wednesday coming up on the 23rd. We're going to be having both of Brian and our good friend Carlos Navas,
Yes.
and we're going
Was
to
a
be talking.
mentor for the beginning of my life as a Christian,
Yeah,
so that's
first
good.
it
Yeah.
was free, yeah. So
Mhm.
we're gonna have, well, I'm gonna have him on my channel. He's gonna share his story and how we
Nice.
met, and go into his entrepreneur side of the beard dad and how that came out.
Mm,
We both use the product as well.
absolutely,
Actually, we
yeah.
have it right now, so as well. So stay tuned for next Wednesday, and we I will send out the links on social media and all that kind of stuff. So everybody, peace.
Take care.
And